Looked. The highway looked endless beneath the violent Montana snowstorm. Thick snow slammed against Ethan Cole's windshield while his 18-wheeler pushed through the darkness like the last moving thing left alive in the world. It was 2:07 in the morning, and Ethan had already been driving for nearly 12 hours delivering medical supplies across state lines. His eyes burned from exhaustion. His coffee had gone cold hours ago, but all he could think about was getting home to his 10-year-old daughter Lily before school started in the morning. Being a single father had turned every day of Ethan's life into survival. 6 years earlier, his wife disappeared with another man, leaving Ethan buried in debt with a little girl who cried herself to sleep, asking why her mother stopped loving her. Since then, Ethan had sacrificed everything for Lily. He skipped meals so she could eat, worked double shifts so she could stay in a good school, drove through storms like this one because failure simply went wrong. Cooked isn't an option anymore. The heater inside the truck rattled weakly while freezing air leaked through the old cabin doors. Ethan reached toward the radio searching for anything to keep himself awake, but only static answered him. Then suddenly, something appeared ahead through the storm. A small figure standing directly in the middle of the highway. Ethan's heart nearly stopped. He slammed both feet onto the brakes as the truck screamed across black ice. The massive trailer fishtailed violently behind him, almost flipping the entire rig into the frozen ditch. Somehow the tires regained traction just seconds before disaster. The truck stopped only a few feet away from the figure. Ethan stared through the windshield in disbelief. A little girl stood there barefoot in the snow wearing only a thin red sweater. Snow covered her hair and eyelashes while she hugged a small black backpack tightly against her chest like it was the only thing keeping her alive. Ethan immediately jumped from the truck into the freezing storm. The wind nearly knocked him sideways as he rushed toward her. "Hey, sweetheart, are you okay?" he shouted, but the little girl didn't answer. She just stared at him with terrified eyes. Ethan slowly knelt in front of her, trying not to scare her further. Up close, she looked even worse. Her lips were blue from the cold. Her tiny body trembled violently. Without hesitation, Ethan removed his heavy trucker jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. The moment he touched her frozen hands, he noticed dried blood covering her fingers. Not fresh blood, old blood, like she'd been carrying it for hours. Then Ethan noticed writing on her wrist in black marker, a phone number, and underneath it, 4 words that instantly sent a chill down his spine stronger than the storm itself. Don't trust the police. Before Ethan could even process the message, bright headlights suddenly appeared far down the highway behind them. A black SUV raced through the storm toward them at terrifying speed. The little girl instantly panicked. "No, no, no," she whispered while backing away in fear. Ethan looked between her terrified face and the approaching SUV. Every instinct inside him screamed that something was horribly wrong. This wasn't the fear of a lost child. This was the fear of someone running for her life. The SUV accelerated harder. Ethan made his decision instantly. "Get in the truck, now." The little girl obeyed immediately. Ethan sprinted back into the driver's seat just as the SUV closed the distance behind them. The moment Ethan slammed the truck into gear, the SUV swerved violently, trying to block the highway. But Ethan forced the massive 18-wheeler forward through the snow and blasted past it by inches. The SUV immediately turned around and began chasing them. Ethan checked the mirrors while gripping the steering wheel tightly. "Who are they?" he demanded. The little girl hugged the backpack tighter against her chest while tears rolled down her cheeks. Looked. "Heeks. They can't take me back," she whispered. "Back. Not home. Back." Ethan felt his stomach tighten. Whoever these people were, this little girl had already escaped them once before. The SUV rammed the trailer hard from behind. The entire truck shook violently. The girl screamed. Ethan fought the steering wheel as black ice threatened to send the entire rig crashing into the mountainside. "Seatbelt!" Ethan shouted. The girl quickly obeyed while Ethan desperately searched for options through the storm. No signal. No traffic. No help. Just darkness and snow. The little girl finally whispered her name. Emma. Ethan introduced himself while keeping his eyes locked on the road ahead. Then he asked the question that had been growing heavier in his chest since he found her. "What's in that backpack?" Emma instantly panicked and pulled it closer. "No!" she cried. Ethan kept his voice calm. "Emma, people are trying to kill us for whatever's inside that bag. I need to know why." Tears filled his, looked, our eyes. "They killed my dad," she whispered. Ethan frowned in confusion. "What?" "What?" Emma's breathing became shaky. They said it was an accident, but I saw everything. At that exact moment, the SUV slammed into the trailer again even harder than before. Ethan realized these people weren't trying to stop them anymore. They were trying to force them off the road and kill them both before sunrise. The black SUV stayed glued to the back of Ethan's truck like a predator refusing to let go of its prey. Every time Ethan adjusted the steering wheel, the SUV responded instantly, matching his movement with precision that made it clear this wasn't random pursuit, it was coordinated. Someone inside that vehicle knew exactly what they were doing. Emma sat frozen in the passenger seat, clutching the backpack so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her breathing was uneven, sharp little gasps that made the inside of the truck feel even smaller. Ethan could feel her fear without even looking at her. It was, not just fear of being caught. It was fear of what would happen if she was caught. Another violent impact hit the trailer. Bang. The entire truck shook, sending loose items sliding across the dashboard. Ethan gritted his teeth and fought to keep control as the wheels skidded across the ice. "They're trying to force us off the road," he muttered under his breath. Emma shook her head quickly. "They don't want the truck. They want me." That sentence hit Ethan harder than the crash. "Why?" he demanded. "What did you see?" Emma hesitated for a moment, her eyes locked on the backpack like it might explode if she opened it again. Then slowly, trembling, she reached inside and pulled out a small plastic folder wrapped in a torn cloth. Inside were documents, official papers, stamped and signed, but half of them were burned at the edges as if someone had tried to destroy them in a hurry. Ethan glanced at them briefly but couldn't read everything while driving. "What is this?" "My dad gave it to me," Emma whispered, "before they killed him." Ethan's grip tightened on the steering wheel. "Your dad? Who is your dad?" Emma's voice cracked as she answered. "Richard Lawson." For a moment, the world inside the truck seemed to go silent. Even the storm outside felt distant. Ethan had heard that name before. Everyone in America had. Richard Lawson, the billionaire tech CEO who died in a tragic private plane crash 3 months ago. News channels had played the story for weeks. Funeral, broadcasts, tributes, public mourning. But Emma was sitting in his truck right now, alive, shaking, holding evidence that said something completely different. "That's impossible," Ethan said quietly. Emma shook her head. It was staged. Another hit came from behind. Harder this time. The truck nearly slid off the road, but Ethan corrected it just in time. The SUV wasn't giving up. Ethan scanned the snowy forest ahead and made a decision. He jerked the steering wheel sharply, turning the massive truck off the main road and onto a narrow, unmarked logging path hidden between trees. The tires fought for grip as the vehicle bounced violently over frozen ground. The SUV followed instantly. "They're still with us," Emma whispered in panic. "I know," Ethan replied. The logging path was worse than the highway. Deep snow, no lights, no markings. Just darkness between tall frozen trees. The truck moved slowly now, struggling against the terrain. Behind them, the SUV's headlights flickered through branches like a moving shadow that refused to disappear. Ethan pulled the truck deeper into the forest until finally he spotted something ahead, a collapsed service checkpoint, abandoned years ago. He pulled the truck behind it and killed the headlights. Silence fell. Only the storm remained. For a few seconds, nothing moved. Emma was shaking so hard she could barely hold the backpack anymore. Ethan looked at her carefully. "Listen to me," he said quietly. "We're going to figure this out, but I need you to. Stay calm." Emma nodded weakly, tears streaming down her face. Ethan reached slowly for the documents again. Now that the truck was still, he could finally read properly, and that's when he saw it. A classified government seal. Not corporate, not private. Government. Stamped across the top was a word that made Ethan's stomach drop. Redacted project. Black Falcon. Before he could react, a sharp knock echoed outside the truck, then another. And another. 3 slow, deliberate knocks on the driver's side door. Emma gasped and immediately curled backward in fear. Ethan slowly turned his head toward the window. A shadow stood outside, motionless, watching. Then a calm voice came through the storm. "Mr. Cole." Ethan's heart stopped. "We know you're protecting the girl," Emma whispered in panic. "Don't open it." Ethan didn't move. The voice continued. "Give us the backpack, and this ends peacefully." Ethan's eyes slowly shifted toward Emma, then toward the shadow outside. His hand quietly slid, looked, under the seat, where his old revolver waited. The storm outside got louder, and the silence inside the truck got heavier. The hunt had officially begun. The storm outside the truck roared like it was alive. Snow slammed against the windshield in violent waves, while Ethan sat motionless in the driver's seat, his hand resting just inches away from the revolver hidden beneath him. The shadow outside the door hadn't moved. It was still standing there, still waiting. "Mr. Cole," the voice was calm again, controlled, almost polite. "We don't want to hurt you." Ethan looked at Emma. She was shaking uncontrollably now, her small body curled tightly around the backpack as if it was a part of her. Her eyes were wide with terror, but there was something else too. Trust. She was waiting for him to decide whether she would live or die based on his next move. Ethan slowly exhaled. Then he made his decision. He reached for the truck ignition and turned the key. The engine roared back to life. Outside. Looked. The shadow shifted slightly. "Bad choice," the voice said softly. Ethan didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed the CB radio again and pressed the emergency channel. "This is E17. I don't know who is listening, but I'm being pursued by armed men in black SUVs near Route 90 logging division. There is a child with me. I need immediate help." Static, then nothing. Still no signal. Of course, the storm was swallowing everything. The truck suddenly rocked again. Not from the SUV this time. From something heavier, another vehicle had arrived. Then another. Emma let out a small broken sound. "There's more of them." Ethan looked through the side mirror. 3 UVs now, blocking the only exit. They were surrounded. Completely. The voice outside spoke again. "This is your final warning." Ethan looked at Emma one last time. "I'm not giving you to them," he said quietly. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Why are you helping me?" Ethan hesitated. Then he answered honestly. "Because I know what it feels. Looked like to lose a child." That truth hung in the air for a second. Then Ethan pulled the truck into gear and slammed his foot down. The 18-wheeler roared forward, straight toward the blockade. "No!" Emma screamed. The truck crashed through the snow, metal and ice exploding around it as Ethan used the full weight of the rig to break through the first SUV barrier. One vehicle spun out. Another swerved too late and got slammed into the trees. But the third SUV stayed close, ramming them harder. Bang! The truck shook violently. Ethan fought the steering wheel with everything he had. "Hold on!" Emma was crying now, screaming through the chaos as the backpack slipped slightly from her grip. And that's when it happened. The zipper broke open. A small metallic device rolled out onto the seat. A recorder. Different from the first one. This one was active. A red light was blinking. Emma stared at it in shock. "I didn't know it was inside." Ethan glanced at it quickly while still driving. Looked, ing at full speed through the forest road. Then a voice played, but it wasn't Richard Lawson. It was different, cold, mechanical. "If you are hearing this," the voice said, "then Emma Lawson is still alive." Ethan's blood ran cold. Emma froze. The voice continued. "She carries the final encryption key to Project Black Falcon. Without it, the entire system collapses." Ethan looked at Emma sharply. "What is this?" Emma shook her head violently. "I don't know," the voice on the recorder continued. "All units are authorized to eliminate all witnesses." A long pause, then the final line. "Especially the truck driver." Ethan's grip tightened. Me. Before Emma could respond, a massive impact hit the truck from the side. Harder than anything before. The trailer began to tilt. The world outside spun. Ethan shouted, trying to stabilize the wheel, but the road was too narrow, too icy, too dangerous. The truck began sliding toward the edge of a frozen cliffside. Emma screamed. "We're going off." Looked. Ethan fought the steering wheel with everything he had left, but gravity was winning. The truck tilted further. The edge was seconds away. Emma looked at him through tears. "I'm sorry," Ethan shouted back. "Don't let go of that backpack." The truck reached the cliff edge, and for a moment everything slowed. Snow, wind, silence. Then the rear wheels caught a ridge of frozen rock. The truck stopped, hanging half over the cliff, suspended in darkness. Emma was breathing like she couldn't breathe at all. Ethan didn't move. Outside, footsteps approached the cab door again. Slow, deliberate. And this time, not alone. Dozens of them. The final hunt had closed in, and Ethan Cole realized one thing clearly. This wasn't a rescue anymore.